Hey everyone, what's going on? I'm making this video as a contact report for the channel, since we haven't really done that. So last night, our core non-local CE-5 group was doing a non-local CE-5 throughout the day and the night, like we usually do. People will join in whenever they can. I'm also going to note that, I'm also making this video to demonstrate the deepness and the intensity and the synchronization of non-local CE-5, because this particular encounter was amazing to me, and I'm sure for other people in the group. So, anyways, and also let me note that before this particular encounter that I'm going to describe happened, two members, Kim and Bruce from Florida, also had an encounter with a magnificent golden craft, which is likely the same or similar craft that we see frequently in New York, who usually visits our groups. So that's really awesome, and that happened before the event that I'm about to describe. Okay, so anyways, I did my preparation work a little earlier, and then I did it right before I was going to go out, and my friend Dave, who was also participating, did as well, and I got to the location where I can go out and view the sky, and just about immediately I saw a strange craft out in the distance. And usually I would just send Dave a text and be like, oh, I see something, an unknown or whatever it might be. But for some reason I was urged to call him, so I called him, and I was describing what I saw, and we both said, okay, it's strange, we don't know what it is. So then, we got on to our conversation about the next few times that we're going to have a meetup for our own collective CE-5, like a CE-5 group meet. And we discussed that for a few minutes, and then we ended the conversation by talking about the rest of our night, saying, okay, as soon as we get off the phone, we'll continue with the non-local CE-5, and we'll do it and so on this for throughout the rest of this part of the night, and both of us weren't going to have any disturbances, so we can go ahead and continue the work. So then we said okay, hung up the phone, and just literally as I hung up the phone, I gazed into the sky, to continue to connect, and just immediately I saw this like a perfectly diamond craft manifest and appear and shoot like an alleged streaker, but it was a perfect diamond. It had absolutely no trail, and it was like an electric, a dark electric plasma blue, if you could imagine that. It was like a trans-dimensional type manifestation. It was absolutely beautiful. So immediately I'm like, whoa. I text Dave, all caps. I'm like, hey, I just saw an amazing craft. And he texted me back just as I was texting him, saying he saw the same exact craft. And just as soon as we had hung up the phone talking about how we're going to continue our non-local CE-5, and not to mention that the other group members in all different locations were having their own contact experiences where they were. So this was absolutely extraordinary. That mind you, Dave and I were 7.2 miles apart. I checked the GPS. And we both saw this amazing craft as soon as we hung up the phone. and more amazingly, is that if I were not have called him, if I didn't call him, which was strange from the beginning, and we had that conversation, and everything was timed and sequenced just perfectly, just right, so that we were both looking at that part of the sky at that time as soon as we got off the phone together. So that was absolutely stunning to me. As we continue to explore non-local CE-5, we're increasingly having these non-local experiences with such perfect sequence and synchronicity that it's amazing. I mean, even for people like us who have been involved with this stuff, for most of our lives, just about, and have been doing intensive work for years, this stuff still seems to amaze. So it's like, because I wrote a report, we both wrote a report on it afterwards, that this kind of interaction is helping to teach us and evolve us in our own approach and view and understanding of CE-5 as we go on, so we can kind of rise up and meet the level of where the extraterrestrials are coming from. And it seems like we're getting closer there, and they're continuing to help interact with us in a way that we're understanding the core of what CE-5 is about and how it happens, and the possibilities just keep stretching. It almost seems limitless. But then even after that, we continued some meditation and non-local work, and then a little later on in the night, Dave was looking at his window, and he saw an orange orb right above the trees, and he's thinking, okay, this is sometimes when you see a plane coming at you, directly, it kind of looks like an orange orb or something. So he figured, okay, it's probably a plane coming head on, and those are the navigation lights. So he's looking at it, and it's stationary, and sometimes when you see a plane coming head on, it kind of has that, it may appear stationary because it's coming at you and it's not moving side to side. And from that vantage point, you also can't really see the FAA regulation lights and different identificators. So he's staring at it, and as he's watching it, it dips down and then goes up, and then it's moving one direction and then in a completely opposite direction. So now he knows, whoa, this is okay, this is something unknown. So this is absolutely a craft, an ET craft. So he had a nearby optic lens, a 12 times magnification telescope piece, and he looked at it through that. And this whole ordeal is going on for 10 minutes. So, that's quite amazing as well. And as he looks at it through this lens, it's scintillating all these different colors. It's not just orange, as he saw it with his naked eye. With the optic lens, he could see that it was like blue and green and all these other different colors that it was scintillating. So that was also an amazing encounter that happened after the previous encounters this was last night. So yeah, I figured I would just share that. I'll probably continue to post a few different contact experiences here on the channel. To share the contact we're having, and also for other people to kind of see how some of the contact happens, because there's so much that can happen. It's amazing. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for listening, and we'll be posting more soon. All right, take care.